Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to a 1 versus 1 on Simoski. Between the South, we got Cancerman fighting here for the United States of America for freedom and democracy. Fighting here for the 3rd Armored Division, tasked for clearing out this area held by the Krauts. Under the command of Gentlefox, fighting for Germany, the Wehrmacht, and for the Kampfgruppe. He's got his storm truck and probably immediately chosen with infantry bulletins all the way versus Cancerman's armor, heavy cavalry, and mechanized company with the infantry and build bulletins there. We got the standard MD-42 grenadiers start there for Gentlefox with riflemen here for Cancerman. It looks like Gentlefox is rushing straight for the center there. It's the Wehrmacht. I generally will never advise you to go that path there directly straight for the center if you're the north, because overall it doesn't really help you a lot there. You're much more easily contained from this side of the map, plus you don't really get much around the fuel here, and you can't defend the fuel either. So it's overall not the strongest start there that Gentlefox in terms of where he's going has got going there. So not what I'd recommend by a long shot. We'll of course have to see what Gentlefox does with it. But he's heading southwards here. But overall, not making a move towards his fuel point, whereas Cancerman is moving straight for his fuel point and moving towards the rifleman. Looks like also perhaps a bit westward, so he of course might divert the rifleman here towards here to deal with Gentlefox once he sort of sees what's going on there in the center. MD-42 being sent southwards. We got more riflemen there for Cancerman, and we got more grenadiers for Gentlefox and the Kampfgruppe. Pearson saying northwards here, MD-42 moving down there. So it looks like he might be planning to sort of a path along this axis, basically down to the southern fuel point. A bit interesting sort of a move, I suppose you can call it that, but not necessarily against something I'd really recommend. I mean, it's interesting for sure,
Rifle squad ready for action.
but I could see a few flaws with it. It's certainly going to be a bit more awkward to defend for Gentlefox, but I mean, he does pull it off. It could be very effective. There you go, Riesen suppressed and pushed away. Got single grenadier squad heading westwards here towards the fuel point now that we've got rifle also moving towards that. Rifleman slightly falling back, grenadiers remaining here, so we can sort of see Gentlefox maintaining a few sort of static positions here. Then you got mortar on the way for Gentlefox for perhaps more static fighting here alongside the eastern side of the village. That makes sense. Again, something he needs to be careful with. Again, it doesn't really help him holding the map, and he does not make a move towards the southern fuel point there, so he's actually playing on this one because, I mean, if we are considering that, the way his old forces positioned, it's not going to really do much to defend it, and Cancerman, being any even half sharp, there's just going to constantly harass the fuel point and deny it to Gentlefox. So in that regard, his force position there is not really suited for actually giving him a lot of fuel versus his opponent. Rifleman versus Grenadiers, mortar almost done there for Cancerman, bringing up the American light artillery, the Freedom Tubes. Grenadiers there, though taking fuel loss from the Rifleman, though closed in. Grenadiers might have a chance at winning though. The Rifleman already taking so much damage, even if they get up close, where the overall have more DPS than the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers might still have a chance, if they're still the Riflemen are doing a lot of damage. But there goes just down to Joe. The rest are basically lying dead all across the ground. So mortar setting up here again. Gentlefox just sort of digging in on the eastern side, but even then there's not a lot of preparations there for some. No sandbags, barbed wire, bunkers, nothing. And we can see he's preparing for the assault here. Mortar there could bomb it, or he could just smoke it, then he could rush up with a grenade or something else, although no grenades. Instead, we got the captain there for Cancerman. He's got the northern fuel point, nothing happening there further. Tech up there for Gentlefox and the Kampfgruppe. Pearson suppressed. And you got mortar there against the MD-42 here by the southern house. Again, I'm a bit unsure actually why Pop's machine gun there if he's not actually planning any towards there. It strikes me as a bit of a curious machine gun positioning, really. And overall, a lot more passive, which is generally not what I recommend you doing with your machine gun, by the way, in the early moments of any game. You generally want to play machine gun a lot more actively and aggressively. We've got mortar fire going across the center of the map there from both edges of the village. Rather than they're taking losses, Grenadiers shifting about. Grenadiers got there rushed off, taking heavy losses to the Americans. Take up done, but his pioneers can't meet response. He's actually done a bunker to cover the area here. Probably because he wants to secure the area here, protect help the victory point and the munitions point, which is certainly interesting to see. There's a bit more of a rare setup overall actually from a Wehrmacht player. We'll have to see how it works out, but the major problem is still, though, he's not actually doing a lot to defend his fuel points. That could prove critical in the longer run for Gentlefox. In the south, though, Riesen's pushed back here. The machine gun bunker still not up. Pioneers need to retreat, get up the light mechanized company as soon as possible. Grenadiers are trying to catch the mortar, but so far they're having a very limited success there versus Cancerman, who's doing quite a job there, actually hurting Gentlefox and keeping a bit more again on the defensive. Grenadiers setting up ambulance on the way there for Cancerman, which does delay a bit the Stuart, but again, if we can get 2 fuel points, it won't be by an awful lot, really. That's if we're going to further place Gentlefox in an awkward position here versus Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured. Ambulance almost done. Mortar closing in on Veterans 1 there. Mortar fire almost hitting the mortar there. Grenadiers making their way back, and up here we got Grenadiers attacking here with the light machine gun towards the fuel point.
Waiting for deployment.
Ambulance up there for Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured. Up here, Rifleman there versus the MG42 inside the house, who's slightly shifted. We still got them all supporting. Not north there, Grenadiers versus Rifleman. Light machine gun fire there going off with the Kar-90Ks. Quickly taking up positions of the house. If we can just get up here to where there's only one window, we should have a good chance, in particular with just a rifle grenade. But there we go. Basically taking a long path overall, minimising received fire there from the rifle there. Again, we can see the Cancerman quickly takes response to this and actually pops out of the house and tries to move about there, taking a few shots. Stood on the way there for Cancerman. I don't think he's using the captain to rush it though, so that gives Gentlefox more time to bring out some counters.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
And he lost his mortar here to Gentlefox's mortar. Good work there by Gentlefox up north. Rifleton running here with the Grenadiers suffering no casualties in the fighting there. Half track on the way there for Gentlefox, the Mittler Schützenpanzerwagen.
Orders incoming.
Which only seem like the 250 on half track is beginning to catch more and more on with Wehrmacht players. We'll have to see if it catches on though with Allied players. Of course, for the Oberkommando West, it's not going to catch on until they actually decide to give the Oberkommando West an actual half track. Pioneers advancing, sneaking up here to go for the CoH one. That's definitely a bold move. In this case, the half track could rush in there and containably stall it a bit. Stood there arriving for Cancerman, Pack 40 following up there for Gentlefox. After the half track, there we go, recruit the mortar. Captain though taking a hit there from the mortar. Half track needs to respond here to the rifle going for the CoH point. Instead, he's just rushing towards the centre, where of course it can also be needed. A lot of troops then needing reinforcements against the Americans. But the cutoff point there has been secured. Half-track moving up, can reinforce here the MG42. Quickly replace the lost members. Stuart tank moving about here. And pushing towards the south, but so far he hasn't actually made any moves towards the fuel point itself. Pack 40 out there for Gentlefox. Going to move up to engage the rifleman. Stuart heading northwards. And MG42 good to go again. Half-track just hanging back there. He could lay down some Riegel mines. So right now we can see that Gentlefox's northern fuel supply is in quite a bit of trouble there from Cancerman's now constant harassment and the arrival of a Stuart tank, which will further add pressure there to Gentlefox.
The enemy is attempting to steal our
Flash is going for the fuel point there. Of course, you could try and push for this. Maybe lay up a Tellermine first around here in case the Stuart rushes in, then go for the southern fuel point. Instead, we've got Riegel mines here on the central road by the victory point. Not a bad position either. Almost got the point here, Grenadiers still played out, so they'll need to retreat for reinforcement before pushing back towards the fuel point, which Cancerman is nicely grabbing. And we got BARs out there for Cancerman, increasing the firepower of his basic infantry. There he's even upgraded the captain with a BAR. That certainly also seems to be catching on there as more players realise that overall the captain is a very good anti-infantry unit. And if you sort of upgrade him with BARs, it becomes even better. So that's definitely some rarer play there, but definitely not bad play from Cancerman. Damage engine on the Stuart there with a Panzerfaust. Nice shooting there, Ludwig. Grenadiers being caught by a lot of Americans. There you go, got the captain supporting the re-echelon, so they push forward. The Grenadiers just need to retreat. Just going to try and bait them into the MD42 there then. Without having to retreat, the Grenadiers then pull them back towards the half-track for reinforcement. I mean, that's definitely a clever move. Southwards rather than advancing. Grenadiers here reinforcing really should be. And we got the rifle pushing towards here. Alternating, by the way, there's no ambush camouflage here for Gentlefox. So while he's gone for Storm Doctrine, he's only so far utilised the Riegel mine. Cancerman there has yet to go for a Doctrine. But there you go, Grenadiers there falling back towards the half-track without having to fully retreat. Grenadiers good to go.
Enemy is taking our territory.
More Grenadiers here for Gentlefox. You could consider Panzer Grenadiers here, and of course reinforcing the Grenadiers there by the half-tank instead. It's also going for another mortar here, more light artillery to that way help contain Cancerman, who's actually going for a pack howitzer. So both players here investing more into artillery to try and blast the other one out here. Gentlefox partly also for defensive purposes, that would try and bleed up Cancerman before pushing ahead again. Grenadiers there finally reinforced. bunker up here for medical attention there for Gentlefox.
All right, you dopes, listen up.
75mm howitzer standing by for
There we
orders.
go, first pack cards out there for Cancerman. An armoured division, they would not have access to these. They were pretty much only airborne units and mountain infantry, though obviously they could find their way into other units through other means, but sort of in terms of tables organisation, they were not supposed to have them. Let's just put it like that.
Crew ready.
But there's always a tendency to nab stuff and improvise things at times. For example, Patton ended up, for example, on his drive towards Germany, grabbing up a lot of German equipment and then using it versus the Germans, for example, while at the same time demanding more munitions and supplies from high command. Basically lying. And before they're pushing back the cap, we got Parnese above, we got the Sud trying to flank in here. The Pack 40 might be able to help a bit with that. Up north, they're going to be pushing forwards again. Others healing here. That while they have been reinforced, there's basically a lack of healing that could allow them to push forwards without suffering losses. Machine gun bunker there remains. Trajan sneaking up there. Gunleader's going to have to counterattack. Overall, Gentlefox still very much in the defense here versus Cancerman. Again, the awkward start there for Gentlefox really did not do him a lot of favours there versus Cancerman. So while he's got some territory, it's going to be difficult for him to push out. And again, that's basically what the pushing through here sort of move does for the Wehrmacht. It allows the opponent allied player to much more easily contain them to a much smaller part of the map. So again, that's why, as a rule of thumb, generally always recommend you go through here and then down here. That way you can more easily defend your own fuel point, while at the same time you can threaten the village from the north. It's a longer path, but sometimes the longer path is the one that overall works better long term. Pack cards are firing there. Up north there, Stuart versus Grenadiers. Need to be careful there. Rifleman going here. And Rifleman changing to the Grenadiers, suffering actually quite a few losses there. The mortars there should further eat the Grenadiers, even though they got BARs there. But we do know it is double BARs there for the Rifleman. Actually could allow them to overcome the Grenadiers simply through, again, raw, violent firepower. They might have a chance of wiping out the Grenadiers. Half-track moving up their Grenadier squad, by the way, good job there. Utilising the half-track to actually transport infantry. That's a bit of an overlooked thing there. They swiftly counter-attack or lead an assault there. Captain under fire from the MB-42. Look, I think he's actually been upgraded there with double BARs, turning in the captain here to a full anti-infantry unit, basically meaning he's the lieutenant for. Oh snap! The half-track disengaged, disembarked the Grenadiers, then they got taken out with a direct hit from the pack howitzer, wiping the entire unit. Oh, that's just terrible luck there for Gentlefox. I mean, the pack howitzer is still lethal. It's just again the mortar is just so cost efficient. Most players never bother with a pack howitzer, but the pack howitzer is more than good versus infantry, and as you can see there, in many cases wipe a unit if you're not careful. So that was pretty bad there for Gentlefox. Got punished for actually utilising his half track to transport infantry, so that's got to feel a bit bitter there. Fixing up the half track again, we got mortar rounds landing a bit too close for comfort there, but overall again Gentlefox has been contained to a small part of the map, doesn't have a lot of resources. He has taken up though, so in theory he could try and aim for some armor, but he needs to do something about, again, the overall control situation of the map. Stood under fire there from the Pack 40. Almost got it there, main gun destroyed, the crew dazed. Reeling from the blow of the German anti-tank gun, and he actually calls up a second pack howitzer. That's 3 artillery pieces here from Cancerman to basically try and dig out Gentlefox from here, instead of either, say, smoking up and attacking from the front that way, or just flanking. So we can see here that Cancerman is going for a pretty brutal solution there, but at the same time not one that sort of puts a lot of pressure and emphasis on his infantry to just suffer needless losses, in theory. But could certainly punish Gentlefox here for playing too static game there around the eastern corner of the village. Trying to pull back here, we got the captain on the hunt there. BAR's firing out there, Thompson rounds going off as well. We got the Rifle squad moving down south there. Grenadiers trying to pull back towards the half for safety. Mortar support, and who knows what else could move down the half track to try and assist here. Captain out in the open. Running up pretty close there. For extra down at the same time gives the Grenadiers more chance, and of course there's still also the mortars. Centre wide, Riflemen moving ahead, taking almost fire there from their own artillery, but they get away. And here the captain is pretty close to dealing with the Grenadiers, but at the same time the Grenadiers are pretty close to dealing with the captain. And plus, Cancerman is actually taken up. He's not going straight to safe for Pershing, but is actually taking up for Sherman's here, to that way applying more pressure to Gentlefox. Very close here, but looks like the Grenadiers will die out here to the captain. Nope, Captain retreat is super. Oh, he gets wiped. That was pretty fortunate for Gentlefox. That was rather pushing his luck there, I would say. At the same time, they got a quick hit here towards the east ammunition point there by Cancerman, avoiding the machine gun bunker there. Good work by Cancerman. In fact, could flank behind it. The problem is you can't really do anything with the rifleman to it. The rifleman simply lacked demo charge or anything like that. I mean, he could go for armored company, get out some assault gears, take them all the way up here, get behind, pop down a demo charge, and then blow the entire thing up. Gentlefox there going finally for some Panzer Grenadiers, some hardened German infantry. But we can see here that Cancerman very much has the fuel points under lockdown, and Gentlefox is again more concerned with the centre of the map, which is not really something that he's inspiring a lot of confidence in me. But he's certainly doing so reasonably well, but still, in terms of sort of overall map control, it is not doing him a lot of favours. It is very much giving Cancerman then a lot of fuel. We got the half-chase trying against the Rifleman in the east. Machine gun fire, we got the Pioneers supporting. And there you go, Rifleman send running here. Forced to retreat. Sherman flanking southwards there, 50 cap on the way. That could clear out the bunker. That could also allow him to flank in behind the position here. Catch some of the support weapons off guard as well. Or even just, you know, once they turn to deal with this, front to front. So we actually got the Major calling in artillery here. Good move there. Further causes havoc. Though I think he should have waited until the Sherman had been supporting him, because it was closer that way. It could have caused more disruption against Gentlefox. Like I say, you know, he attacks here. Gentlefox tries to turn about to him, then he hits him with artillery from around here and then pushes in with infantry further on there. Instead, it sort of happens a bit more too sequential. That is, I think, more favourable to Gentlefox in terms of managing. Minori now has moved down the Pack 40 and the Panzerschreck, for example. He's not too much I'm concerned with about here, because he knows there isn't much pressure there, for example. Sherman the taking off down from Packs and Panzerschrecks. And Sergeant Joes there has to retreat before he gets knocked out. Bazooka's being dropped at the resistance. They're quickly getting sorted apart here. Looks like Cancerman is quite paying attention. There we go. Wiped. Bit of a loss there for Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured Division as Gentlefox's soldiers push forward. In the north, we've got to move here as well. Grenadiers, but there's Rifleman and the Steward here. Pretty much preventing Gentlefox, and he's not doing anything towards the southern fuel point. It's almost like that fuel point does not exist in Gentlefox's optics. Interestingly enough. Gentlefox should definitely consider getting up a support core to bring up some armor to that way push back at Cancerman with. Otherwise, I mean, he might soon run into some serious problems. Pioneers sent running there by the rifle up north. The Stu continues his pursuit of the Grenadiers. We could see a wipe there. We could see a wipe. Very close, but no. Jürgen there manages it, though barely. And of course, we've got the double pack houses and the mortar ready to just deliver death onto the heads of Gentlefox's men to shatter them quite horrifically. I mean, Cancerman, of course, should, I think, consider applying more pressure for Again, needs to try and launch attacks from as many angles as possible. And that way, you know, make it harder for Gentlefox to defend. Troops reinforcing healing. Still no sign of the support core from Gentlefox. Is he planning for Tier 4 and Panthers? That would be a bit risky at the moment.
Now have access to additional battlefield options.
Steward moving towards the centre there, supported by the Riflemen. Grenadiers versus Riflemen, a lot of troops healing, reinforcing. Finally got the support crop there for Gentlefox. Finally took him quite long enough. Rather than the fire for the mortars, the MB-42. Grenadiers moving up, pack out fire raining down there, mostly failing to hit the mark.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Still pushing forces to cover. They got pack 40 nearby, which Kutchin about to deal with him. You can see a target weak point there, half to taking hits there from the 37mm gun. Another hit they could. Doesn't quite get it there in time though. After they're still alive though, still operational in service of the Wehrmacht and the Panzer Grenadiers. Up north for 2, we got the Sherman ready to strike here at the positions where he's finally pulling away the Panzerschrecks, meaning he's going to be completely open here to the Sherman. He's also pulling away overall, perhaps to apply more pressure in the south, and he's trying to retake the centre. Major cleaning about there, he's flanking behind here the bunker, and there he goes, just calling an artillery up north there. Panzer's moving up to deal with the Sherman, half shot nearby to assist. Support McQuartman, and in fact right now go for the Panzer 4. He's right about now, there you go. We call in a Panzer 4, and there you go, he does immediately call it in to support his men here versus the Americans and their tanks. That could certainly have a nice effect there for Gentlefox, if utilised properly. If not, obviously not so much. Rather than getting gutted by machine gun on retreat. Machine gun bunker is certainly paying off a bit here for Gentlefox. Just make it harder here for Cancerman to just sort of move about in the south, so that's good. Troops are healing, reinforcing, half are being fixed up again. Push for the core point here, and that rather means Gentlefox right now has very, very minimal map control here versus Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured. And there you go, bunker down, the pack carters basically finish it off. Panther almost done with another shell away there for Cancerman, bring out the armoured total for the 3rd Armoured here to be 2 Shermans and a Stuart light tank. Did he actually cancel it? Looks like he did. He's actually now switching towards heavy cavalry, in fact going for grenades in the meanwhile. Sharp turn there by Cancerman. I mean, he is close to the king of the Pershing, so it does kind of make sense. We'll have to see how that works out. North there, Panther versus Rifleman, Grenadier supporting it. Sherman nearby. And Stuart covering the centre here alongside some other elements, but not a lot really. It's mostly the artillery here alongside the Stuart that's covering the centre of the map right now, so a good attack there from Gentlefox could retake it. It might certainly come at a high cost there due to all the artillery here position. Again, pack counters, mortars can do a lot of damage very quickly if you're not careful. Lose like machine gun, then getting the rifle. We got the moving up there as well, quickly making a few hit and run attacks there with it against Gentlefox's forces. Pack 4 needs to move up, it's halfway to Victory 2. And down here, Grenadiers fighting out there with the rifle and Victory 2 versus Veterans in North. Grenadiers, they should overall have the chance. Oh, they are negative cover. That's a really poor decision here by Cancerman. We do have a grenade off there. Looks like he doesn't quite paying attention. Or at least until it's too late, and there you go. The Grenadiers are suddenly down to half size. We've got a lot of artillery fire. They're almost swapping up the Grenadiers in the process. Panther 4 going down here in the north. Thankfully for Gentlefox, while Cancerman has gone for Doctor, it was rather late, and he hasn't laid down, I think, a single mine there, which certainly would have helped there against the Panther 4 rolling through the north. Artillery called in again by the Major. We can see Cancerman activating frequent use there of calling the artillery from the Major against Gentlefox. Certainly a rare sign there for the Americans. A rarer sight. Up north grabbing the fuel point there again, but there's still nothing in the southern fuel point there from Gentlefox. This time, in fact, for the mid-game analysis, in terms of damage, Gentlefox is actually quite a hit. Kills-wise, it's actually pretty equal, but damage-wise, again, due to all the armoured vehicles, I mean, Gentlefox is just getting more damage done, and there's not been so many vehicles and tanks there from Gentlefox for, you know, Cancerman to return the favour. Army value-wise, Cancerman's quite a hit there. Gentlefox, for the most part, though, he's getting a bit closer here. Resource loot-wise, though we can see that currently Cancerman is flooding a lot. Again, he's saving up for the Pershing, which is mean a lot of resources are basically inert and doing nothing there to sort of fight Gentlefox, which is giving then Gentlefox more chance to sort of get back in the game and push his own resources against Cancerman. So that's something there to keep in mind. As for points held, again, rough start there again. Not a good start for Zamorsky. Again, I would say for a Northern Wehrmacht player, again, very much I recommend not going straight for the center, but actually sort of hooking about left around the lake, going for the fuel point, and that way pushing in towards the village. That way it's a lot safer and overall secures you a much more stable position to attack and defend from. But either way, currently Cancerman is very much in control versus Gentlefox. Again, the only thing he's really got going for him is he's actually managed to kill enough of Cancerman's men, and he's doing a lot of damage. Otherwise, Gentlefox would be in a much, much worse position. So it's not all bad, but it could easily be a lot better here for Gentlefox. And currently, again, he needs to sort of push one of the fuel points, if not both. At least try to stall Cancerman for getting a lot more fuel, and otherwise just give himself more fuel to that way push more armor versus Cancerman. Otherwise, try and flank about, and again, I would still recommend possibly in the end here, big assault through here, sweep the fields, push up here and then get behind, you know, catch some of the units there on retreat, as he then moves in from there, ensuring that for some can't easily get away with the pack houses, maybe even sort of getting them, or at least just wrecking them and denying them to Cancerman. So that's something I think Gentlefox definitely needs to consider there. As for Cancerman, he's got heavy cavalry, lay down some mines, some fighting positions, some sandbags, dig in. I mean, he's got most of the map. It's largely going to come down to Gentlefox attacking him. So preparing ahead of time would be a really good idea. Otherwise, if he really wants to attack through here and sort of try and hit, you know, Gentlefox from as many angles as possible through here. And then here at the same time could have a quite devastating effect there versus Gentlefox. In particular, then uses the Major to call an artillery strike or two at the same time. As for setting up for the Pershing, right now, that's kind of a bad idea. I mean, by the time he then has enough command points, he usually has enough resources to call in a Pershing and a Sherman. And the thing is, again, if he just doesn't flood all those resources without using them again, that just means more chance for Gentlefox to get back in the fight, because again, that's also a lot of resources for Gentlefox, which he can then build up and actually utilize, meaning the Pershing might find a bit harder to gain traction once it hits the field, because all of a sudden there might be not so much supported anymore. So really dangerous game there that Cancerman is playing. Really dangerous game, and not something I'd recommend. But let's return to the fight and see what happens next. Moving about on north there, Sherman coming to retreat with the rifle nest. We got the fuel point image caught by the Grenadiers. Scheiße Jucken, a tiny American Panzer, knock it out! I want to see how it looks when it burns. You got that mortar there hitting Mitty 2. We got Grenadiers on before 2 pack 4 is pushing out there. Hard trick with the Panzerjägers nearby. He's just standing by there. And we got a rifle grenade there against the mortar, and he wipes it again. Another loss after the Grenadiers, but managed to kill themselves a bazooka there. And we got there a hit from the Sherman and the Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV does manage to return the favour there with a 75mm gun. Grenadiers there versus Riflemen. So again, fuel there, back in control for Gentlefox, ensuring that Cancerman there doesn't have a massive lead. I mean, he could also consider just a fuel cache again. Just get out some armor, don't float that much resources, Cancerman. You're only helping Gentlefox with that. Grenadiers reinforcing. Still sitting out there, close to Vitsy 2. And so it's about wrecking the mortar, basically meaning Cancerman doesn't feel like he needs it. I mean, he's got 2-pack howitzers, and he could in fact use them to lay down white phosphorus. I mean, he were to lay down white phosphorus, that would force retreat here, unless Gentlefox were then to decide to build a medic bunker at the front line. Otherwise, he'd have to retreat them for healing back at his base. I mean, a white phosphorus barrage here could actually do a lot there to help counter the half track, without necessarily having to destroy it.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Pushing through the south again, Gentlefox very much remaining defensive. He's getting a bit more bolder now. Again, the Panzer IV is giving Gentlefox a bit more frontline strength, and now Gentlefox also feeling a lot of manpower. Which, of course, at this point might be only for them for Gentlefox to consider fuel cache or 2 to help offset the fuel difference. Smoke's been down there from the Rifleman. Good work. A bit late, though. A bit late. Artillery firing down there. We got the Sturm moving in there. Engaging the Grenadiers, setting them running. Sherman just doing nothing there for Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured. Machine gun crew there almost annihilated, but is ready to reinforce here with the half track. And thusly the half track is paying itself off quite nicely, as it tends to in the hands of a good player. We got the Rangers out there for Cancerman, adding the Thompson submachine gun cylinder for more close quarters action, which certainly considering the map there is not a bad idea to do it there. Taking several impacts there from the Panzer in the east. We got Grenadiers here with that machine guns and the bazooka versus the Rifleman there, defending the eastern victory point. And we got a howitzer here for Gentlefox. Gentlefox clearly liking that, liked his Feldhau bits to blast the Americans. Oh, cancels it. Perhaps realising in this position it's actually quite exposed, so he's probably going to try and place it closer to the rest of his forces, making it harder for Cancerman to just hit at it unscreened.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
We got Thompsons out there. The Thompson, while an effective submachine gun in some ways being potent, it also had a lot of issues. It was expensive to produce and maintain, and it was also just heavy, which isn't really practical for a close quarters submachine gun. That tends to be, in fact, a kind of bad thing. So they overall looked for substitutes. They tried making easier to make versions out. For example, in the end, they just ended up with the grease gun, which is overall just cheaper and lighter, yet still packing the same 45 caliber punch of the Thompson. So a little fun fact there. Rather than the center MD42 opening up there, rather than being suppressed. Major supporting it all. Could use some incendiary piston rounds here for increased damage. Got a smoke screen down there, good, but a bit late. Again, he should also smoke the Panzer IV. Basically, lay down the smoke here, smoke there, that'll cut off both the MD42 and the Panzer IV. At the same time, the Rangers pushing through the south here, maybe try and flank in. Where's the armor support, though? That's the bigger question. And looks like the armor support is not there. Pretty much hurting the assault here for Cancerman. I mean, oh, he's even lost the squad here. I mean, had he had the tank supporting all this, he probably would have done a lot better. In particular, then used, combined arms to boost it like Lucky Strike did. How it's being set up here. Closer to, again, his troops, so he can better protect it. Close to losing the ranges of the Panzer IV. But looks like it does escape. Might guess use the howitzer here to try and silence the pack howitzers, show them what the true howitzer does. Vetchen defeating the Panzerjägers. Rather than falling back here, as we see the Gentlefox pushing in here, supporting it over the half track to slightly draw fire, but of course also reinforce troops as they go on again, giving his attack a lot more resilience as well, which of course is another great use of the half track. Got the Stuart there finally, but we got the Pershing out here for Cancerman. Panzer going in for the Sherman. Pack 40, he might lose the Sherman as well. They're going to be a huge loss here for Cancerman, who then finally loses a lot of grass speed, loses a lot of units, allowing Gentlefox now to solidify control over the map. Going for the northern point here. Pershing, they're rolling out here for the 3rd Armoured Division, and Cancerman ready to strike fear to the hearts of the crowds. Goddamn, Joe, I just want to kill me some Nazis. There we go, shoots, collapses nearby house, but doesn't actually do any damage there to the Germans. Rather than pushing forward here, Panzer IV might want to pull back a bit here, a bit risky, in particular with these crates of the wreckage there, actually obscuring its line of sight. We got the artillery here firing down. I think he's just firing at the base hoping to catch some units. So far, the artilleryman ship there is not quite having much success. Mostly hitting the base itself, but no actual people. Half track close eventually too. Actually, that's not half bad. Troops moving about there, troops moving about there. Grenadiers setting out. Still no ambush camouflage for any of these units that could have it. And we got another Sherman there for Cancerman to support it. And again, he's got a lot of fuel there. He had a lot of fuel. And again, he could use that more armor up before the Pershing hit. Do you feel like that was a definite strategic mistake there by Cancerman, which again has allowed Gentlefox to really get back a lot here versus Cancerman and the 3rd Armoured. And again, the half track is just, you know, a huge asset here for the Wehrmacht. Huge asset. Of course, at this point, he could consider maybe a command bunker to support it all. Meaning he can actually reinforce at more points to make it harder and further, you know, to get pushed off here by Cancerman. Up north, the few people being harassed because he's sending in the Panzer IV, a bit on its own. Risky there. I mean, he's got the Grenadiers sort of tailing after with a bazooka, but if the Pershing decides to go after that, I mean, he's going to have to rush up the Panzer Grenadiers and start the half track to defend it. It looks like he's preparing here a mobile Kampfgruppe inside the half track to respond to any threats here. Rather than being pushed back, Pershing actually falls back towards the pack howitzers in the south, engaging between Grenadiers and Riflemen. Looks like the howitzers are ready to turn on the pack howitzers. Panzer going down, there you go, takes it from the Pershing, needs to pull away, Gentlefox, Schnell, and there you go, Vetchi, 2 shots, not blitzes up, pulls away. And there goes first shot fired against the pack howitzer, misses. Second shot blows up some trees. Third shot misses as well. Pack 40 there taking hits. Pershing goes in. Panzer IV to get to penetrate. Got Panzer then getting the Pershing. We got smoke being called in the Pack 40. That's a good move. He needs to pull the Panzer IV behind it actually to obscure the line of fire of the Pershing. But the Arsenal exactly keeps repairing. I think there's too much going on there for Gentlefox, and the Pioneers almost get wiped. The Panzer IV gets blown up, costing him a Vetchen Panzer and the crew. Pershing there bounced a lot of rocket shots. In the east here we got Rangers flanking. Doesn't do too much damage, ultimately pushed back here. And of course, thanks to the half track, he can reinforce a lot of his stuff here at the front line again. Meaning it's going to be a lot harder for Cancerman to push north there unless he gets rid of the half track. And so far, Cancerman isn't prioritising the 251 there so much. Oh, never mind, he's caught it here. It looks like Gentlefox might actually lose the 251 then. The Hanomag, as it's also known, since it was produced by Hanomag. But there you go, it gets knocked out, left a burning, smouldering wreck.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Panzer then getting the Pershing. Going after it here. Almost getting wiped there. He's really trying to push. He's even using tactical movement here to try and hunt it down there. So far he's used... Well, he's actually now used passive ambush. He's actually used ambush camouflage because he's using the enemy machine gun. He's used regal mines. He's used tactical movement. He's used howitzer artillery. He just needs to use the Sugar bombing strike. He's basically gone full bingo on the doctrine. Compared to him, we've got a bit of smoke here, Rangers and the Pershing, but we got, I think, no mines, no sandbags, and we got no combined arms from Cancerman. Still, Gentlefox is striking back. He should consider some mines around here, though this is where the half track would have been handy, since it allowed him to much more quickly just lay down mines. Oh, he caught the ambulance with his artillery, and I think that was his first kill on it as well. Yeah, Look at that, we scored our first kill. Yeah, we had an ambulance. Ooh, wir heroes. Yeah. Sherman in from the south here, Pioneers swiftly engaged. And they have to fall back. Lack of armor isn't helping Gentlefox here. He's planning Panthers now. That's pretty ambitious. I mean, without fuel casters, I don't think he's going to have quite the fuel for it. Again, the severe fuel deficit he's got there through, again, not a good startup there. Isn't really helping him towards Panthers as much as he would like. More Canadians with more light machine guns. More Americans with more grenades. Got Rangers moving up, then engaging as well. That's going to give Gentlefox some problems here. Sweeping in and dealing with the Grenadiers in a most ruthless fashion. Also, a fun fact about German artillery cruiser leads with Panzer divisions, they would usually work together with sort of, observation crew. That's most associated, but in the case of the German Panzer divisions, that could actually be an observation tank. Usually a Panzer II or Panzer III sort of made for those purposes. Occasionally also think also Panzer IVs. Little fun fact there. Clearing out here the artillery crew with the Rangers, good work there. Should certainly prevent Gentlefox from immediately firing it again. Got another pack forward here for Gentlefox, another Panzer up at Canona. Grenadiers hiding up here by the northern fuel point. Desperate to defend it. Looks like Gentlefox finally realizes he kind of needs that fuel point. Pershing Strom rolling out. He's got a lot of fuel there though. Problem is he's got such a large force as well in terms of infantry. He doesn't quite have enough manpower. Trying to get more tanks, and there you go. He's engaging here the howitzer with the Sherman. That could actually wreck it, and that would hurt Gentlefox quite a bit there. Since ultimately, the howitzer didn't really have much of an impact for Gentlefox. I mean, he's gotten one ambulance with it. That is not enough to pay off the cost here of the howitzer by a long shot. Comparatively, the pack howitzer has done a lot more damage, and there you go. Looks like the Pershing will finish off the job. Almost got the Sherman here, but he's going to lose the howitzer nonetheless if the Pershing can hit. Quick engagement up north here, going to use versus Rifleman. That's not looking good there. Quick grenade here could do a lot of damage. Handshakes flying, and there you go. Howitzer knocked out. Pershing falling back, but he's very much got what he wanted there. Meek got another tactical mill again, allowing the Panthers to rush in. But the problem is, though, he's rather doing it risky with any sort of real support. MD42 firing ambush rounds at the Pershing. I'm not entirely sure what the sergeant there was imagining he would achieve with that. Yards he'll never see it coming. Yeah, because in a tank, it's not going to hurt him. Shut up! Don't you believe in NSEEK? And then he repacks it, actually losing the ambush bonus here versus the attacking Rangers. That's a bit awkward. Now we've got the grenade off there. Got virtually free, just a bit awkward handling there. Gentlefox in a pretty bad position there versus Cancerman. Pack cards is finding weight. Pershing being repaired. Close to it, 22. Grenadiers reinforcing, healing. What will Gentlefox do next? We haven't seen any heavy Panzer Corps there. He's just going to realise that's a bad idea and just go for a regular Panzer IV to support him again. We also got here the Stuka bombing strike ready to be called in on any Americans to silence them forever. Pushing towards the south here, victory point for us. They're pretty close to each other.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Rangers taking into the Pioneers here. Quick grenade, they're saying them running. Gonna do this thing with the cannon there with the light machine gun. But the Rangers just continue forwards. And quick barrel overcome the Grenadiers there. And there you go. Swiftly murdering Jurgen. He's not got enough infantry nearby. I mean, he's moving down more infantry to stop it, perhaps, but he's not quite got enough there. Will he go for the Panzer IV? Will he go for Nostrum? Will he go for Stuka here? What will Gentlefox aim for? We got the tank moving up, but that's actually going to rush straight to the Pack 40 if he's not careful. It looks like Gentlefox actually ends up expecting it, perhaps inadvertently. If you get off a target weak point here, that could definitely be the set deficit. Ah! Just as the Sherman's about to hit, he actually moves all the Pack 40 in the wrong direction. But there you go. Fires away there. Sherman down to half health. Looks like he won't be able to get it. Oh! Oh, close there, but not quite. Sherman gets away there. We've got Rangers here pushing forwards under heavy fire. Pershing getting ready there. We've got another Panzer IV for Gentlefox. We've got another Sherman there for Cancerman. Pack 40 bazookas flying at it. Panzerstrike as well. They're Pershing, dodging or bouncing most of it except for that one Panzerstrike rocket. Panzerfaust going off. Damaged engine, a lot of pack fire there. We got a smoke screen down in the front of the pack 40. Good job there to try and salvage the Pershing here. As the tank is advancing, tank hunt as well there. Tactical movement there to further rush forwards. While we're noting it benefits the packs as well. So allows them to basically push them on quicker there. Little fun fact there. How is this tactical? We move faster. Yeah, but shut up and just do it. And go one off, not quite so energetic anymore. But we got the Panzerfaust here for Gentlefox and the Kampfgruppe Meyer. We got gunners bringing here from the south. Rumbling special to do, got the smoke screen off there. Pershing Vetri 2 being fixed up there. Mortar on counter-artillery fire trying to silence those light pack cards, and there you go, getting off some hits. Almost got one wiped.
We lost a gun crew.
Actually got it there, that's pretty good. On the one next target. You can silence that would actually relieve a lot of pressure there on Gentlefox's shoulders. Panzerfaust moving from the north, a bit risky there, getting sitting in without any support. Blindly, I might add there. Strange her Pershing. Definitely not the sharpest move there by Gentlefox. Got the Sherman taking hits from the Pack 40s. 75mm armor piercing rounds there, piercing the frontal armor of the Sherman. Like a hot knife through butter. Or like an armor piercing shell for the Sherman's frontal armor.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Another half-track for Gentlefox to again ensure frontline pressure and reinforcement. Rangers sweeping forwards, taking hits there from Gentlefox's mortars. Grenade off against the Grenadiers, takes out half the unit. Pioneers being wiped here, they're not careful. Careful Gentlefox, shite it. Grenadiers wiped, Pioneers looks like they might escape. Pack 40 ups up the Pershing. Panzerfaust doing a counter cover, mortar needs to fall back as well here. Not a lot of immediate support. We got the half-track moving down, the Pack 40 taking hits, we got a large infantry push. Half-track rushing out as well there. If he can sort of get it all together, he might be able to establish a fresh line of defense here. But it's certainly looking pretty rough there for Gentlefox. And the Kampfgruppe Meyer here versus the 3rd Armoured. The Gentlefox is still able to deliver some good punches there versus him. No smoke here from Cancerman to cover in advance. They're going to at least pick up the 2nd LMG-42. You got immediately the pack carters flying back there, though not to great condition. Pershing waiting, ready at the end of the village. Sherman milling about, and in the south you've got a Stuka bombing strike ready there for Gentlefox and the Kampfgruppe Meyer. A bit of Luftwaffe support to deliver a soul-crushing blow. Maybe. Somebody's reinforcing. Again, overall, the half-track, very good tool for the Wehrmacht. Pack can be reinforced. Pack cards are setting up here. Going to bombard here to soften up the position, but no say white phosphorus. We can certainly do more against all the reinforcements. Infantry there, got Grenadiers taking several hits, almost wiped out. Need to pull back there if they can. They're going to have to retreat. Looks like going to launch a big on assault there. Frontally on Gentlefox. It could be a bit to get the Pack 40 hunting the show in the south. They've got a munitions cache up for Cancerman. There you go. Ambush there on the rifle and the Rangers moving towards the centre. Looks present on the rifle and the Rangers. The south here, there you go. Panzerstrike on the. Oh, Sherman could go down. Sherman could go down there for Cancerman. Just a few more hits here. And the Sherman goes down to one Sherman and the Pershing here, moving towards the centre here. Panzerfaust being repaired. Range getting ready to push forwards again. MG42 though can open up again from ambush, and there we go. Quickly doing some damage there, gunning down several Rangers in a matter of seconds. No ambush camouflage on the rest of his units though. Just the machine gun there. Pershing moves also into catching there, so he moves a lot of his equipment there. Nice timing there by Cancerman. Pershing, they'll take several penetrating hits, then return. Almost got it there, Grenadiers taking hits. In the south there, we got reascent running.
A capture point is under attack.
Hacks, machine guns, Grenadiers advancing. Half tracks, they're supporting as well here. Looks like Gentlefox is getting ready for a big push there. There we go. That is very much a big push. It's supported by the half track. Needs to be careful with the half track too far ahead of the rest of the force. Big, almost got the Pershing. Almost got it. Coming in, we got a Stuka bomb drop. Stuka bomb drop from Gentlefox. On the pack houses. Sherman, Pershing sent running to each their own. And there we go. Point rendered neutral as well. And we got GG. The Jericho trumpet apparently shattering Cancerman's nerves in the face of Gentlefox's assault. A surprise move since he actually, I would say, had the chance to get back. They still had a lot of resources and a lot of troops to fight back against Gentlefox, but apparently his nerves were just broken there against Gentlefox's solid play. I mean, really, that's just one of Gentlefox's strengths, mental fortitude. He doesn't give up, and he's overall sort of a very competent, solid player. So in this case, he basically just wore down Cancerman until Cancerman just couldn't carry on anymore, it seems. I mean, overall, not the strongest of Gentlefox's performance. Again, overall, I would still say this move here was a poor one. He should have again gone through here. It's a much stronger move. If you're the Wehrmacht in the north, again, it would have helped him defend the fuel point. It could easily have more allowed him to hold here, and it could allow him to more successfully push into the village, because attacking through here is a lot easier than trying to attack through here. So again, I think that would give Gentlefox a lot more to go with. But otherwise, I mean, he made good use of half tracks. He made good use of his doctrine. I mean, that was pretty much a full commander bingo there, compared to Cancerman, who only used a few of the abilities, though he did use them. But he didn't, prepare a lot of mines for someone. He actually had the strength, of holding most of the map there. So that was a definite mistake. Also filling for the Pershing, big mistake. And not flanking enough. That was another big mistake. I mean, there's a lot of issues there, a lot of things that Cancerman could have improved upon. Use smoke when attacking to separate the defensive elements there and make Gentlefox a lot easier to handle. So, I mean, there's a lot there that he could have worked on. But overall, nice play there. But Gentlefox, again, good use of the half-track, machine guns, packs there. Could have used some more ambush camouflage. But overall, again, could have attacked better here from the north. But, details. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay on the product and feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.